Hypnotists, should you record your live hypnosis sessions with your clients? Well, we get a lot of students who come to us and they ask this question, so we wanted to address it in this video.
Right. People ask us, should I record my hypnosis session so that I can give the client a recording to listen to afterwards? And to answer that, we have to ask, well, what is the point?
Right. So what exactly is it that you're trying to accomplish by making this recording and giving it to the client in the first place, right? So what's the benefit of giving the client that recording? Well, the point of doing hypnosis is to make the changes in the actual session, right? You're affecting neural pathways when you do hypnosis.
Sure.
And it either works or it doesn't, right?
So I know having a client listen all over again doesn't seem helpful. It's sort of sending an unconscious message to them. Okay, a great session. And if it doesn't work, just keep playing this. You've already undone the work.
Yeah, it's true. Now, there are schools that teach rapid ways to transform a client, but it doesn't seem very rapid if you have to send the person home with this homework to essentially repeat the same thing over and over again. So I think it can actually undermine your work if you do that, right? Because let's say, let's discuss this. You do a wonderful hypnosis session and it's worked. And you don't know that because you haven't calibrated and future paced and stuff. And you say, go home and listen to this 28 times at once a day.
Well, you're sending a message to the person. It hasn't been complete in the office. I have to now do this as well.
And what if you gave suggestions for, let's say, amnesia of a problem? And now the client is the client in the same state when you're having them listen? How can you determine that? You're not there. You can't
or are they
calibrate.
doing the dishes or something?
Right. You know? So they start listening going, oh, I was told I have to listen to this a bunch of times. They're not really hypnotized this time. They're actually consciously listening to everything you say, and you undermine any, let's say, amnestic loops that you created, things like that. So it doesn't seem like it's a great idea to me from that perspective. Now, when you do great hypnotic work, like we said, you're calibrating the client that's in front of you.
Who's in front of you at that moment. You're offering them language which is based on that experience at that time. Now, a recording doesn't duplicate the experience because it's not the whole context of everything going on in the session at that moment.
Exactly. So let's talk about what are some things that you could do instead. So instead of saying, hey, client, here's the recording of what I just said to you, go listen to this a bunch of times. What else could we have them do?
Well, we can have them future pace and check their work. Don't be afraid to check your work. And when you go to that meeting that you're afraid of, or when you go into that, that swimming meet or marathon you're doing, whatever it is, how will you feel? And watch them. Be there now. What will you? I'll be confident. I'm feeling great. And you're calibrating that what they are saying is matching their vocal tone and so on.
Right. And you could also leave them, let's say in the session, you could leave them with post-hypnotic suggestions that they'll be able to re-enter that same state of trance and perform that kind of future pacing whenever they need to. So you're essentially now teaching them how to do self-hypnosis, right? And that could be a pretty useful skill.
That can be very powerful. You can give them video resources to review after the fact.
Right.
And if you're doing any of this, one of the other aspects that we didn't really talk about in advance is the aspect of legality. If you're considering having a camera running in your office to protect yourself legally against some sort of charges, that's a completely different thing. And if you feel you should do that, do that.
That's not recording for sending the client home with a copy to review, right? But yeah, like what you said about giving them video resources, because of course we run the Mandel Hypnosis Academy. We have all these awesome products based on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. Well, that took us a freaking long time to develop. But what if you're a hypnotherapist, instead of sending your client home with a recording of that session, what if you send them home and you give them online access to a series of videos of things that they can do, how to do empowering questions, how to do something like 6-step tapping, how to enter a peak performance
all things
state.
That are putting them back at cause, being in control.
So you teach, you basically do the hypnosis session, then you send them home with a toolbox of things they can do for themselves, right? Now, if you're wondering how do you create something like that, you could check out Pykthos.com, Pykthos. It's a platform that we run that actually lets you create courses for your clients. So that's a very useful thing for you to do. But the bottom line
What is the bottom line, Chris?
We just don't recommend recording a hypnosis session and sending the client home with the recording.
I don't think it helps, and it could hurt the client's response insofar as they might feel you haven't done sufficient work and you're not confident, so you're giving them this as well. Homework's great if it's active. Listening to you do the same session, we don't think so.
Right. So it doesn't help. It could hurt. If you want to learn more about how to do hypnosis based on principles and not recorded sessions, check out the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. You can get started for free. We'll make sure there's a link in the description under this video. Thanks again, and good night.